Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the CBL X's and O's podcast for season 2023. It's the round four preview of the Northwest Conference, and I've got Sammy Gazzo joining me again. So let's sit down and preview. Hey, Sammy.
Yeah, let's go for it, mate. It's not as busy as it was last week. It does seem like a short round, but there's a couple of exciting games there that can really push some teams into the fore and cement their spots a little bit.
It is definitely a smaller round. We only have 9 games this week, and let's start off with the men and your team, Mildura, travelling into Kyneton. It's you need to make sure you walk out of the building with a W this game.
Yeah, it's a dangerous game. We play them early on the Saturday. We play at 5 p.m. So we'll travel down and we'll make sure we're ready to go. But yeah, I'd be pressing the boys not to take any games lightly, as we shouldn't anyways. So I think more than anything else, you want to make sure we're 4-0 and they're 0-4. So realistically, you probably don't want to be the team that allows a team that hasn't won to win their first game, and we need to make sure we play our basketball. And no, there's a couple of blokes there that we do need to watch out for. So with Jordan Mangan as their leading scorer for the season. So we'll be keeping an eye on them. But yeah, what else can I say besides rambling on? Fingers crossed we get the job done, of course.
Bacchus Marsh travel across to Castlemaine, in which could be, it's a bit of a danger game here for Castlemaine. They don't want to lose their undefeated record.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, exactly right. And I think Bacchus will probably want to show that they're a legitimate top four side, and this is a real game for them to be able to showcase that. So yeah, look, you think Castlemaine will get it done, but Bacchus Marsh are a threat, are a real chance. So I think it'll be very interesting to see how Castlemaine goes after their doubleheader last week.
And Melton welcome Bendigo into Cobblebank Stadium, which is probably going to be our game of the round in the Northwest men. It's Bendigo will want to be getting back on the winners list after the shocking road trip a couple of rounds ago.
Yeah, and it leaves a bit of taste in your mouth too. Going down to we're losing 2 on the road and then having to sit there for a week. So it's good to refresh the body, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see. They travel into Melton. Melton won't want to be undefeated. Won't want to, lose a game and stay undefeated. But Bendigo lose this at 2 and 3. It does sort of push them down a little bit further than what they would think, where they think they would be on the ladder. So it'll be very interesting to see how they respond. And knowing the coach out at Melton, I'd expect they'd be pretty well prepared. So no, I think that's going to be a cracker. That will be our match of the round.
Duke will travel across to Kyneton for their only game of the weekend. Now, one of these teams is going to get their first win for the season.
Yes, exactly right. How good's that? That's a match in a round in itself, I think, as well. I always like the fact that someone does get a chance to get the W. So, again, Echuca, they get the week after having played us last. It'll just be interesting to see how they respond. And then Kyneton have us the night before, so they get a bit of a chance to recover. But we'll be talking next week about who gets off the no-win list. So, yeah, we'll see what happens.
And Bacchus Marsh is set to host Macedon on Sunday as well. And again, that's going to be another cracker game by 2 middle of the table teams.
Yeah, I think that's probably up there as well for match of the round. Bacchus Marsh are involved in 2 good matches, just simply because depending what happens on the Saturday night, they definitely would want to make sure that they look to win this. Like you said, you're 4th at the moment, and you really want to start to cement that spot. They're 2 games, played 2 games less than what Macedon have, and they're a spot above. So you sort of want to keep that. And I think for Macedon, they'll be on the same page. They probably want to get a couple more wins and just make sure that they stay around that 4-5 mark so they can push for finals.
And we have a look at the women's now, and the undefeated Kyneton take on Maryborough. And now I think this game's going to really show us where Mildura fit in the ladder and the scheme of things, whether they can, get over the top of Kyneton and really cement themselves in the top 4, or whether they're going to potentially battle and might just miss the 4.
A little, shouldn't say danger game, but some for kind to sort of watch out for, just simply because at the moment they are the last, undefeated team in the women's, and so far have showcased how good they are compared to the other teams. So I think for Mildura, it'll be a case of them showing what they're about. So if they are wanting to, after being runners up last year, with the team being a lot younger and different as such, they still want to be able to compete for finals. I would think. Um, so yeah, it'll be a cracker. It'll be interesting to see how Crichton goes. It's a 3 o'clock game, so it is nice and early. But yeah, whether Crichton stay undefeated, form shows that they might be able to get it done. The other thing for me is Crichton's percentage, even though undefeated, 112%, and Mildura's percentage at 96%. So I think this might be a close game.
Macedon take on Maryborough, and similar to the men game that we mentioned before, one of these teams are going to get their first win for the season as well, which is very exciting.
Yeah, exactly right. We'll maybe we'll try and give Macedon maybe, I don't know, a little bit of an edge. Do we say that? I'm not too sure, but we'll give Macedon the edge. Maryborough last week had a tough game against Melton. They'll probably want to keep riding that wave. 5 points losing to Melton, who are one of the better teams in the women. They'll probably just want to showcase that they're maybe improving, and maybe their 0-4 doesn't quite speak true to where their talent is. Be an interesting game, and we'll get to talk about one team winning, and unfortunately maybe one team still being without a win.
And Melton are hosting Bendigo, which is going to be a cracker of a game in the women's.
Yeah, you're excited by that. I can see by the smile on your face. This one gets you going. So it really will be. I also like the fact that Bendigo are travelling a little bit. It'd be great to see how they go. I mean, it's not too far a trip. It's only a couple of hours, but we always like to see how the opposing team goes when they travel. So on the ladder, what do we got them? We got them at second and third, both with one loss. So I think for Bendigo, they'll just want to keep their form, especially with a nice win last week. Melton travelled last week and they got a nice win over Maryborough. So, look, let's lean towards Bendigo as favourites, maybe with Poppy and Lavinia, but expecting El Price to have something to say about that. So, that'll be a cracker.
And Macedon travel across to Bacchus Marsh on Sunday, and will be interesting to see what Bacchus Marsh can score. Offensively, they did a really good job against Swan Hill last week, and it'll be interesting to see what they can do this week.
Yeah, they'll not that we should say, they're probably wanting to do something similar, aren't they? 114 points, exactly right. It'd be interesting to see how they go. But probably interesting for Macedon too. Do they win on the Saturday night and they've got their first win of the season and they're potentially going for 2 wins, or are they, without a win after Saturday night and then pushing again for the Sunday? They're probably wanting to win one game from that. So I'm more intrigued probably about how Macedon goes in regards to their 2 games after the weekend. Expecting Bacchus Marsh again, wanting to back up such a high score and, keep that percentage and that winning feeling going. And again, playing against the team that hasn't won a game, I guess you sort of just want to show the rest of the league that you are, serious about where you're standing, where you are on the standing. So push for finals.
That's all our games. That's our round 4 preview done. Cool. You look forward to seeing the stands full this weekend, don't you?
Yeah, exactly right. It's great that, I think it was after the first round or second round that you showed there was, 4,000 spectators that went through the door. Both our games actually this weekend were greatly spectated. Appreciate, Macedon on the Saturday night, there, was, probably half or 2/3 full. They had pretty full, and then even a troop as well. They were probably around half full. So really appreciate the spectators coming out from what I've seen. And yeah, let's fill up the stands and all the players out there. Let's keep putting some points up. You want your name out here? Let's put some points up, and we'll speak about you. But we've got to show the support so far. The CBL season's been awesome.
It's been great with our spectators. I know across the first 2 rounds we've had 13,000 across all 4 conferences. So big numbers. Our spectators are voting with their feet by getting into our stadiums and round 4. We're putting on 9 games of basketball, so we want to see you all in the stadium, which will be great. But then, we'll jump on a call next week after the round to review what it was, and maybe we'll have some numbers there where we can discuss how many people were in the Northwest Conference for round 4. How's that
Yeah,
sound?
that'd be great. Yeah, that'd be great. Look, get your family, get your friends, your boyfriends, your girlfriends, all that sort of stuff. Get them coming on a Saturday night and a Sunday. Get them supporting you. And, I think it helps bring the atmosphere up. And no matter where you're playing, the more people there, it just makes it more exciting. So we love hearing noise anywhere you go. So, yeah, bring everybody. It's only a couple bucks entry, I think, everywhere anyways. Everyone's pretty similar around that $5. So, skip your coffee one day and put your $5 there and enjoy watching your mates play.
That's it. Sammy wants everyone to be at Kyneton Saturday night for a ripping crowd, putting his
100%.
boys off as they shoot free throws.
Hey, I'll be on them if they miss the free throws. They know that. That's one thing I'm big on.
So good luck to teams this weekend, and I look forward to catching you next week after round 4, Sammy, as we sit down and review what was round 4.